All right. Well, I'm excited to talk to you about this reissue of Ghostriders. I mean, 1988, right?
89?
When did it first come out?
1987.
1987. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of looks like a Western horror movie. I guess, Thomas, let's start with you because you, the cinematographer on it. Talk about, I guess, shooting it back in the day, you know?
We shot on 16 millimeter with an old CP16, and it was the first feature I shot. And it was pretty much a total amateur crew because nobody had really done anything. A lot of students from the local university and friends and family, we all worked on it together. And Alan, the director, and I co-produced it and co-edited it. And that's how it kind of got started. I'd worked on a couple of low-budget horror movies. One was called, I think the name of it now, Bits and Pieces. And I was the gaffer on that and realized, I think I can make my own movie. So Alan and I raised about $30,000 and we came back to Texas and shot it one summer.
Oh, cool. Well, I guess talk about the story. I guess you can dive in too, Steve, about it,
Well, briefly, it's back in the day, back in the 1800s, a itinerant preacher is going head to head with a gang of cowboys, and they manage to capture the main one, and hang him, and kill off his gang, and he vows revenge. Have I got this right, Tom?
Yeah, that's it.
And then 100 years later, they come back to life on horseback and proceed to wreak vengeance on the descendants of this preacher from the 1800s, and blood and mayhem ensue.
I love
and
that.
You've got this great. It's great because you've got an outlaw gang, full cowboy outfits, on horseback, in modern day 1980s Texas, coming out for revenge, and it's some unique images and a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, the Cowboys were a group of guys that did reenactment stuff at this old West town, and so they had all the outfits, they had the guns, they made their own blanks, they had some horses, not all the horses we needed, but it was great working with those guys. Mike Amons was the leader.
Oh, very cool. Any other fun stories like that while filming? I mean, that's really cool. You had to get the actual cowboys to live nearby.
Yeah. Well, actually, when we were shooting, the first 2 days of the shoot were at the old West town. Mm-hmm. And again, like I said, we didn't have enough horses to go around, so because it cost too much to transport them out there and stuff. And so we were kind of sharing them and doubling them up and stuff, which made it a little difficult. And we also, the 2 nights we shot out there, it was either one night or 2 nights, I can't remember now, but we lost power for like 2 hours or something. And so we had to cram all that stuff in there, the period piece, all into basically one night of shooting, which was very difficult.
Oh,
didn't you have, Tom, weren't you plagued by wild animals from the zoo?
Yeah, it's actually like a lion country safari kind of place. So you'd hear the lions growling at night, and ruined sound takes, and you could hear all kinds of weird noises going on. We had no idea what some of them were.
And I know there's a sequence where you guys actually blow up a truck, right?
Yes. That was an old Willis Jeep is what it is. And I did the pyro for it. We shot a couple of cameras that didn't work, so unfortunately. And it was I think it was like 5 gallons of gasoline and a bunch of black powder bombs that my friend Steve Stanton and I built, and we blew it up out in this field.
Oh, wow. I assume it was only one take, right?
Yeah, one take, I think, definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. Well, let's fast forward, because I mean, I assume this is kind of gathered like kind of a cult following over the years, and now it's kind of finally going to be reissued on Blu-ray. I guess talk about the restoration progress, Steve.
Well, this is one of those films that was very successful on VHS back in the day, and then just completely disappeared. And we were working on Action U.S.A. with Tom when he brought this up to us, and we got great. There were great film elements in really good shape from Tom, and we went in and did a lot of cleanup on them. And we added some effects to the cowboys on horseback. They wanted Tom had wanted a slight glow to them. That had been the creative choice back in the day, but didn't really have the technology or the lab budget to do it at that time. And so he supervised that work himself and basically supervised the transfer. And that was a huge benefit to us, that we actually have the filmmaker with us who can walk us through the process of what this is supposed to look like in its ideal form. So that was really, Tom was basically the leader on that project, along with our colorist, Sean Lawrence.
Yeah, Sean did a great job. It looks better than it ever has, I have to say.
Wow.
So,
that's awesome. So it comes out Blu-ray, February 8th, and then DVD the 15th, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. There's a lot of extras on this disc. I mean,
Cool.
This is the extras kind of provide a you are there look at what it was like making, straight to video horror in those days. There's a brand new documentary that we did with Tom and James Desmarais, where they tell the stories about the making of the film. There's vintage behind the scenes footage of them actually making the film. There's a vintage documentary made at the time the film was made about the making of this film. Still galleries, I mean, plus a commentary track with Jim and Tom. I mean, we really went all out on this one, and we're pretty excited about this disc.
Very cool. Well, Thomas, has there ever been thoughts of doing a sequel to this, since there has been a following, or?
I would love to. I'm just not sure what the story would be, but I'd be willing to do that.
I love that. Well, cool. Where exactly did you shoot this in Texas?
Not in Waco, Texas.
Oh, really? Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Before I let you go, is either of you got anything else you're working on? You're upcoming? You're allowed to talk about?
Tom, what do you got in the pipeline? Tom is always working. So
yeah, Thomas, what are you allowed to talk about?
I directed this 2 movies that aren't quite finished yet. One is Give Till It Hurt, and one is another one about a sniper is called Time for Sunset. That hopefully we're going to finish in about a month.
Very cool.
And Verdugo, we've uncovered another lost 80s action classic called Kill Zone that stars Ted Pryor. Was directed by David Pryor, and action fans know those guys. And that one's going to be coming out later this year, possibly this summer. So we're excited about that too. And anything you want to know about Ghostriders, you can go to the Verdugo Entertainment website, verdugoent.com. You can see a brand new trailer we cut for Ghostriders, and you can find out all about the film there.
Yeah, I just watched it. It looks great. So can't wait to see it. Thank you guys so much, and take your time to talk to me, and keep up the amazing work.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Steve.